Good evening. We begin with breaking news tonight. Police in Commerce City shot and killed an armed man after a nearly 5-hour-long standoff today. 9 News reporter Ria Jha joins us from East 72nd Avenue, just east of Highway 2 in Commerce City. And Ria, you're expecting to hear from police there in just a little bit.
Right, Commerce City Police are here on scene right now. We are supposed to hear from them, as you just said. What we know right now is that the suspect who was shot was a 29-year-old man who was wanted on 2 arrest warrants. One of them was a severe violent domestic assault charge where the woman was so severely hurt that she was later transported to the hospital. What we know about the hostage situation is that the suspect had a maintenance worker hostage who was armed with a knife and at least 1 handgun. A maintenance worker escaped shortly after that standoff began, but the suspect refused to comply with officers' commands. He threatened to shoot police officers, and even after hours of conversation with trained negotiators, they were unsuccessful. So that suspect was eventually shot by police, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. So we are supposed to hear from Commerce City Police soon, and we will give you updates as that scene evolves.
Ria Jha reporting for us in Commerce City tonight. Ria, thank you. Rocky Mountain National Park is trying to keep visitors safe around the burn scar areas. A few years back, the Cameron Peak and the East Troublesome fires burned about 30,000 acres, about 10% of the park. In those burn scars, the soil has a harder time absorbing water. Heavy rains can lead immediately to flash flood conditions. So park rangers want visitors to be extra careful right now when they're in those parts of the park.
Are there any trees that could be a potential falling hazard? Are there any areas of loose debris or rocks that could be a tripping or falling hazard? If rain started to flow, is there debris uphill or soil uphill that could flow downhill and impact where you are? So situational awareness and being aware of your surroundings is really important.
Rangers say make sure you know your weather forecast before you go out, which now brings us to Lauren Robinson. Lauren, we've had rain in the forecast. The park was worried about some of these storms, but at this point, no problems yet.
That's right. Some flash flooding across the burn scar areas has really been at top of mind over the last few days with these several rounds of scattered showers and storms. But we will be seeing drier weather as we move into the weekend. So I guess that's good news for those burn scar areas because they can't take too much water at once. Now, this afternoon, we saw those afternoon highs dropping just a bit. We maxed out at 85 degrees today at DIA. Most of the Front Range at Eastern Plains saw those middle to upper 80s, low 90s. We did get a little warmer off to the east and southeast. We saw a high of 97 degrees today down in Lamar. The high country warmed into the 60s and 70s, and we saw more 70s and 80s across the western slope. As we monitor our HD Doppler radar, the urban corridor, most of the Front Range and Eastern Plains is nice and dry. Those scattered showers and isolated storms from earlier have moved on out, but now we're waiting on the next round of showers and storms currently over the high country to continue to move eastward a bit. We're looking at this shower that's headed its way toward Fort Collins, and then as we take a look to the south, we do have more scattered showers and storms here. The good news is those will continue to wind down as we go through the rest of the evening. So coming up in my full 7-day forecast, we're going to talk a little more about those lingering storms. We have a hot weekend ahead and then more storm chances toward the middle of next week. I'll have details on all of that just ahead.
A truck driver who killed 5 members of the same family in a crash in Weld County is going to prison. A judge today sentenced Jesus Puebla to 11 years in prison. He was driving a truck on I-25 back in 2022 when he failed to slow down for stopped traffic and slammed into the back of a car. Emiliano and Cristina Godinez, their son Aaron, his fiancée Haley, and the couple's young 3-month-old baby Teslie. 5 people in all were killed. Their family members spoke at today's sentencing hearing.
Jesus didn't just kill 5 of my family members, he killed all of us. He has taken my baby girls, my past, my present, and my future.
Puebla's attorney argued that the company that owned the truck was at fault. The truck didn't have working brakes. Prosecutors argued if they had been working, Puebla was still driving recklessly miles before the crash and did not stop because he was distracted.
Puebla's commercial driver's license was expired as well, and a trucker who caused a crash that killed a man on 285 last weekend didn't have a CDL. The companies they worked for, Comandantes Trucking and Monique Trucking, had histories of violations, and now there are calls for criminal charges.
My husband would be alive today if there was more accountability on the truckers on the road.
Colorado has a new law increasing penalties for truckers who don't have a CDL. They face a misdemeanor instead of a traffic offense. Greg Fulton is president of the Colorado Motor Carriers Association. They supported the bill before it passed, but he says state law can only do so much.
It really kind of falls within the federal government and in terms of probably removing their ability to operate.
Fulton went on to say this is not just a federal government problem. He says he's also looking at the state where the two companies are based, California.
After a well-known composer for the Colorado Ballet was killed by a drunk driver, his wife is now offering that driver forgiveness. Back in February, 23-year-old Juan Ortega Torres Jr. was speeding when he ran a red light, crashed right into Creston Wolf's car, killing Wolf. Torres Jr. was sentenced last week to 12 years in prison. Creston's wife, Alicia, says he has owned up to his mistakes at that hearing and that his short sentence might allow some good to come from a terrible situation.
I know that Creston would never want this to ruin another person's life. You know, he's young. He has time to grow. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, want him to experience a good life.
Both of the Wolf's children, who were also in the car at the time of that crash, are doing okay. And the Colorado Ballet is now planning tributes to Creston in the years to come.
RTD is slowly fixing the slowdown with its light rail trains. The train going from Bellevue to Orchard Station is now allowed to go full speed, but not the train in the other direction or in the other areas where 10-mile-per-hour safety zones are in place.
We expect to have significant progress by September if it's not completed altogether.
The repairs are needed because RTD discovered rail damage on certain parts of track where the wheels of the train meet the rail. If left untreated, the track could crack. The repair work is being done overnight, so it has impacts beyond the slowdown for some late night and early morning trips.